All right, guys, I have a very, very special guest with us. Joining me for the first time here on Pure Evil MMA, we have the Eddie Abasolo who's joining us, and he's going to be fighting on Lion Fight 42 going down Saturday, the 21st. I'm going to be there ringside to watch him fight. Once again, you just had a fight out in London. We're going to talk about that and so much more, the story that you've been through, and going all the way back to that fight that you had on Lion Fight 13 way back when. So first off, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just got done training, just got home, had dinner, so I'm pretty happy right now.
So you're on this Lion Fight 42 card. You have Antonina Shevchenko, you have Toshev on this card. How familiar are you with some of the other fighters on this card? Because there's a lot of great Muay Thai athletes that are going to be on this card at Foxwoods.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth, it's weird. I don't even really know who's on the card.
You got Antonina Shevchenko, who's Valentina's little big sister. Mm-hmm. And you got Toshev, but you're fighting for the title. You're fighting for the title. Is this the first Muay Thai title that you have for Lion Fight? Because I know it's the inaugural title for Lion Fight. This is the first time you're fighting for a title for Lion Fight, but you fought for titles before in the past, obviously, correct?
Yes, I fought for the MTG title, the WBC title. I got those, and this will be my third title. This is my first Lion Fight title.
So with Lion Fight, in the spotlight, you have Joe Rogan talking about all the time. What makes this fight and championship fight especially different than the other ones that you've had?
For me, it's every fight is fought as it's a championship fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like we tend to let the pressure of all these exteriors, as in the title, main event, whatever, all just those titles.
The stickers that you slap on it. Yeah. Make it sound important.
That puts unwanted pressure. Of course, yeah, it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm in it for the fight, not the belt. There's been a few times during my camp where I even forgot that I'm fighting for a title, only because the title is just extra. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna do my thing. If I keep my eye on the belt, the material thing, I'm putting more pressure than I need to on myself. So I'm just trying to go in there and flow and do my thing, and
So since you're like that, I mean, how do you deal with fight night? Do you have any fight night nerves? Of course, it's crazy to say that nobody's nervous before a fight, but how do you deal with getting ready once you're actually at Foxwoods? What's the game plan? What is this going to look like once you arrive here in a couple of weeks?
I'm just all into embracing everything. I feel like it's failed me in the past to try to control my emotions and not feel fear and not feel nerves and not let my adrenaline get up for no reason and stuff like that. But then I've learned to just feel it, It takes something very special, whether it be a person, a thing, or a circumstance, to make us feel this way, So I'm not going to waste it, I'm going to feel the nerves. I'm going to feel, I'm going to embrace my fear, you know what I mean? Because without fear, you can't have courage. It's the yin and the yang. The more I embrace it, the more courage I gain. It's kind of like a boomerang effect. You know what I mean? So as I'm going, yes, I'm feeling all these things. Not to say that everything is absent, and not to say that I'm controlling them. I'm just an open window with the breeze just, flowing through it.
You know
what I mean? Whichever way it wants to go, I'll let it go. I'm not trying to stop it.
You're a product of your environment, so to say.
Yeah.
So you're training with people like Gaston Bolanos, but the things that I've heard about you in the past is that you have a crazy, not a crazy way, but a very unique a way of training. What is this way of training that you got? Because it's kind of similar to a Tony Ferguson, where it's just kind of have you like made up your own routines, or what is the style of training I keep hearing so much about?
Well, it's just little things to build my hand-eye coordination, my balance. Getting to basically everything I do is just getting to know my body and the proper functions of my own body. You know what I mean? One example I like to use is everyone, once we learn how to walk, we don't perfect how to walk. You know what I mean? Once we're able to stand on two limbs and
We're satisfied.
kind of
Yeah.
stay on balance and just get from point A to B, we don't fix our posture or our balance where we step. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So as I'm going, playing with a soccer ball, playing with a basketball, juggling, playing with the band on my forehead, whatever I'm doing, I just try to find the rhythm of it. Everything has a rhythm, and if I can find the rhythm of the soccer ball, the basketball, the tennis balls, the bag, the pad holder, the whatever I'm doing, shadow boxing, if I could find the rhythm to that, I can manipulate it however I please.
So Eddie, really quick, for the people that are watching the video cast, unfortunately, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see what I'm about to show you, but you can go follow Eddie's Instagram page at the Eddie Abasolo Show. Correct? I'm about to show everybody what you're explaining with the tennis ball and the soccer ball, because I think that's so interesting. I can barely pat myself on the head and rub my stomach at the same time, and here you are doing this. So let me pull this up really quick for everybody. How did this start, man? Because it looks just so awkward.
I don't know, man. I always play with the ball and the band, and then
Here we go.
I was just outside in the backyard messing around. And I just bought that new toy with the strap, the string, the soccer ball. You know what I mean? So I just started messing with it, and then just seeing if I can do both at the same time. And once I found the rhythm of it, I was just able to do it. And it just came together. When I do something, I don't search for no certain thing, because if my mentality is on seeking, I don't even know what I'm seeking. So how do I, how can I even seek? I just let it come to me. I just move, and then I feel whatever's in front of me, and then I just try to juggle it.
I see you working a lot with your footwork as well on Instagram. What's this new toy you got? It kind of looks like a honeycomb.
Yeah, it's like I think it's called a hexa. I don't know what it is, but yeah, those circles or those hexagons, you can move them around however you want. That was my first time playing with that, and that ball and me kicking the soccer ball and punching the tennis ball at the same time. That was my first time trying it. You know what I mean? So I'm still yet to perfect those things, but yeah, that hexagon, it gives me a whole range of just, the up and down ladder. You know what I mean? I get a whole 360 feel of how to move, where I can move, where's my weight with my steps and stuff like that.
So here we go. I'm playing it for everybody watching. You got the tennis ball connected to your head, which we see like Jeremy Stevens is always doing, but I've never seen anybody do both of them at the same time. And you say this is the first time you've done it, and you actually start picking up pretty well on it. Like, you pick right up on it. At the end of this, like halfway through the minute, you're all over it.
Yeah. It's weird, man, because I listen to music to help me find the rhythm of what I'm doing. And it gets to a point to where I'm not doing nothing, if that makes any sense. I'm not trying to kick the ball. I'm not trying to hit the ball with my hands. The ball is coming back to me. The balls are coming back to me, and I'm just catching them. I'm just putting my limbs where they need to be, and the balls hit themselves. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's picking up rhythm. Have you ever practiced dancing before in the past, or played musical instruments?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to dance all the time with my friends, and I used to compose beats, on my computer and
That's
stuff like that.
badass. Hell yeah. So you actually have a very, very interesting story. You've overcame poverty and addiction, and you know what, man? I'm right there with you on that story. And it took me a while to open up about it. What do you feel? Uh, what do you feel is the biggest thing that you've learned that helps you do the right thing every morning? Like everybody wakes up every morning, and we have decisions to make. What keeps you on the straight and narrow at this day and age in your life? I mean, you're about to be a champion in a very important organization, but it's just so humanizing. We all wake up and make decisions every day, and it leads us to where we are. What keeps you on the straight and narrow that's led you to this path of success?
Man, just reciting certain things to myself every morning. When I wake up, the first thing I do, if I do have thought, when I wake up, I sit up and I don't rush myself when I'm sitting up, even if I'm late, and I just sit there and I don't think nothing. I try not to think nothing for a quick second, not thinking like, oh, I gotta get up, or
Which a lot
I
of
don't
people
feel
do.
like it.
I do that.
Everyone does. Yeah, everyone does. But the first thought I try to have are positive thoughts. You know what I mean? Not rushing myself throughout the day. It's just also remembering every day when I'm in the gym, when I wake up, no matter how early it is, I remember the days that I prayed for what I have now. And it's just crazy surreal to humble yourself, stop for a minute, look around, look at your surroundings, look at the people who you're around, look at the status that you built through your generosity towards others, and to know that it was possible. You know what I mean? It's like when you walk around with that type of gratitude, I'm not saying that I never get mad or I never, short fuse things or this and that. I just try to be more aware when I notice that I'm being that way. But I just try to remember that the gratitude in everything. You know what I mean?
I mean, man, I used to wake up and I used to wake up and feel awful in the morning from what I was doing every day and the bad routines I'd get into with negative people I was surrounding myself with, and it took a while to unwind that ball. And I like what you're saying. Like I can definitely relate with you saying when you wake up, you get positive thoughts. Like I'll wake up, I'll put on like Drake or some feel good music or whatever, start the day off on a good note. But you don't just wake up one morning and just beat the funk. I mean, it's a slow process to that point. And a lot of people say that exercising and stuff helps. When you wake up in the morning, do you do any stretches to get yourself right?
Yeah, I stretch a little bit, but I don't have like a routine stretch that I do. I just get up and just kind of like take my time, because a lot of times we get up and we're automatically stressed because of what the clock says,
Our schedule, yeah.
or stuff like that. Man, just taking that one extra second to just treat yourself to some, what I mean,
Peace of mind.
yeah, peace, some stillness, it changes everything, it changes your whole day.
I want to bring you back and our listeners back. If anyone is new to you, I want them to go back to Line Fight 13 because that's when you really came on the scene, man. I remember the build up to that fight, Zarina Bars. Everyone was doubting her against Chris Cyborg. She's been on the show a couple of times. We all know who Chris Cyborg is, and you actually fought on that card. And it was one of the most epic line fight cards that people still talk to today. What was that experience like?
Which one was that? Who did I fight?
Line
Do you
Fight
remember?
13, I think that
Was that? Oh, wait.
it was a long time ago. It was quite some time ago.
It was cool. I remember seeing Cyborg when I was waiting to check in to my hotel. She was standing right behind me, and I was just so like, oh my god, that's Cyborg right there, but trying to be cool at the same time.
It's the girl who ended
uh,
Gina Carano. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know, and like hearing her talk and conversate with her friends and folks and people else, it was like, man, you know, she sounds like a real sweet girl. But yeah, to watch all them fight, you know, and just to be a part of it, it was, you know, it was surreal. I wasn't in the state of mind back then that I have now. You know, there's plenty of fights that I let pressure get to me, you know, from the way I thought certain people wanted me to fight, you know, because I wanted to make them proud or,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. But, you know, once I let go of that, it just naturally happened. But I don't remember who I fought on that one.
I like this way of thinking that you had, and like, are you reading books or anything that talk about like energies and stuff like that that you're picking up on and kind of sharing with us, like the way that you're getting this peace of mind and like what's really changed that has opened your mind up to all of this? Like, it really sounds like you have actually found yourself, you're comfortable with yourself, and that's a huge step for a fighter or an athlete. Period.
Yeah, man, I don't really know what made the switch. You know what I mean?
Just
It
maturing, really.
it. You said what?
Just like maturing, being around people like Gaston and positive influences.
Just trying to change my perspective on things. That's it. Just trying to look at things. I started taking a second. You know,
Yeah.
a second to check my reactions, and then you know I just wanted a peace of mind. So you know what I mean. The law of attraction, it did its thing, and I listened to a lot of philosophers. You know, I listen to like Bruce Lee. I listen to Alan Watts, Ram Dass. You know what I mean? Talking like I'm pretty close with Kevin Ross, man, and that guy. You know, his peace of mind. The conversations are deep with that guy. You know what I mean? Like we joke around and stuff like that, but we have some pretty, you know, we can talk to each other on a certain level. You know, and he's really helped me with, you know, my state of mind as well. And it's just like, you know, and I talk a lot with Diego Lamas. You know what I mean? We talk very frequently.
He's got an upcoming fight this weekend.
You said what?
He's got an upcoming fight this weekend.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Bellator. There, you're talking about the Bellator champ. Yeah, yeah. I thought.
Diego Llamas. He's one of my training partners.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying.
He's also a WBC champ as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, it's just like trying to talk to people on certain levels. You know, not just small talking, but not being afraid to open up and talk. You know, about just being open. You know, once you're able to open yourself up to people, people can open up to you. Then you can like kind of reach a higher vibration. You know what I mean? It's weird. I just try to listen to a lot of philosophy, and I meditate a lot. You know, whether I'm just sitting down, I meditate while I'm driving. I meditate while I'm training. You know, I'm basically in a meditation state right now. But it's all different levels of these things. You know, and just trying to practice what we preach. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna preach it, I got to practice it as well. You know, so yeah, man. All those a lot of people post memes. You know, very inspirational memes, but that's it. You know, just putting it on IG isn't gonna make that you. You have to practice these things.
You know,
what I mean?
There was a couple of quotes that I saw that you've had. Like you're almost becoming a philosopher in the fight scene right now, because there was one quote that really stuck out with me, and I'm gonna try to remember it the best that I could. But it was like, "There's no time to really think. There's no time to think in the fight, and when you have time to think, that's the time that you're gonna actually make a mistake," or something close to that. You were saying,
yeah.
Do you remember that quote?
Yeah, man. It's hard to explain the state of mind that I'm in when I do that, because you have to be at your highest form of thinking, yet at the same time be at your highest point of relaxation to where you can just let your subconscious take over. You know what I mean?
I mean, the last fight that you had, you could see it. I mean, the look in your eyes, you were just like so in tone, like you were literally like harmonizing with your opponent's attack and defenses, and you could just see in your eyes the way that you're slipping the elbows. It was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I just try to, create a huge presence in the ring. If I can somehow grow my presence, and you can feel me, then I can gain a little bit more control than more than I want. Not saying that it doesn't work, not saying that I don't get hit or that I don't miss, but the same thing is, everything kind of flows to the same rhythm, no matter what you put it under. Just like how I said, I don't try to control my fear or any my anxious nerves, anything like that, before I'm going to the fight. When I go into a fight, it's the same thing. I don't try to not get hit. If I get hit, cool. If I miss, cool. It's just everything flows right into the next. If I miss, it puts me in a different position at a different angle to come with something else. Or if I get hit, I can use that as well, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. And you guys are going to get to watch it all go down. You're going to see the artwork. You're going to see the artist at play April 21st. And it is going to be against Amadu Cristiano for the Lion Fight North American middleweight title. And there's a lot of exciting fighters on this card. We're really looking forward to it. I really thank you so much for coming on the show. Before we let you go, man, I do know that, on your Instagram, you got shirts like "Damn, it feels good to be a gangster." Do you have any other merch people can find, and of course your social media sites where everybody can find you, which on Instagram is _Eddie_Abasolo_show. So where can everybody find your merch?
My what?
Your merch, like shirts or anything?
I don't really have merchandise, but a lot of those shirts that I wear, that's a Feed Me Fight Me shirt. That's one of my sponsors, and you guys go check their page out, Feed Me Fight Me. Man, they got a lot of good stuff on there. They're one of my faves with all those funny stuff that they come up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like my shirts and stuff like that, I don't really have a website or anything like that. I just, whenever I make them, I just post it up that I'll sell them and stuff.
All these little like quotes that you have, like every rep I do is a chance to perfect my technique. Dude, you need to connect with somebody that's going to make you some shirts, because just from what you're saying and what you're about to do over there for Lion Fights, see something very special with you, Eddie. So I'm really excited to see you ringside. I'll be there, so hopefully I will talk to you at the weigh-ins and see how you're feeling. I wish you best of skill and best of luck cutting weight leading up to this fight. If you have anything that you'd like to say to your opponent, now is the time. Of course, guys, this is Muay Thai, this is not MMA, and if you're not familiar with Muay Thai, it's all respect between opponents. So is there anything that you would like to say to your opponent?
No, not really. I'm just I'm excited to share the ring and dance with him,
Yeah.
That's it.
So, Eddie, last thing before we let you go, how much do you know about your opponent? Do you study your opponent, or do you leave that kind of to your team?
I study my opponent to an extent. It's good to have everything in moderation. But I just take a small look, and then I'm not too big on watching a lot of film. You know what I mean? Because for a number of reasons, the person that they're fighting, my opponent, when I'm watching their fights, it's not me, and the person that I'm watching, when I'm watching them, that's not them either. I'm not fighting that person,
Yeah, they're evolving.
Everyone is constantly evolving. So every fight I'm watching, yes, there's tendencies and stuff like that, but it's the opponent's rhythm, the opponent, what they're doing and stuff like that, that creates certain tendencies. So my rhythm isn't going to create the same tendencies that he has compared to their rhythm. And at the same time, like we agreed on, he's evolving, so the person that stands in front of me on April 21st isn't going to be the same person that's on film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't know what to expect. You can't count on that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I can't say what I'm gonna do either, because really I have no idea. It just all depends on how we synchronize in the ring. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Are you still training with Gaston Bolanos?
Yeah, we were just training earlier today, for fight team sparring.
Any news on him? Because he's come off a nice little performance over at Bellator. I know that he's lost the one before that, but man, everyone's catching eyes of Gaston. I've been watching him evolve for years, as of you as well. So any news on him?
No, I don't know when his next one is. I'm real bad at knowing when my
Yeah.
teammates' fights are. You know what I mean? I'm bad at knowing when my fights are. To tell you the truth, like, I had to make sure a few things today before I talk to you, just to make sure, you know.
Saturday the 21st, we found out it's going to be going down, guys. Line fight 42. It's going to be going down at Foxwoods Casino. I'm going to be covering it all for you guys at mymmanews.com. Eddie, thank you so much. We're going to let you go right now. Thank you for coming on the show, and we wish you best of skill.
Thanks, brother. It was a pleasure to be.
Have a good one, man, and I'll see you come Saturday the 21st.
Yes, sir.
There you go, guys. Eddie Abasolo. I did want to ask him a couple of your guys' questions that you had about Conor McGregor, but it is getting a little late here on the East Coast, about 11:12, and I believe he just got home from the gym, so I'm sure he wants to unwind as well. So I'm sorry I saw that a little too late, but don't worry, because UFC 223 recap is going to be dropping tomorrow for you guys. It's already recorded. I just got to go through it and edit it, and boy, there was a lot to unwind there. So thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live, make sure you guys subscribe down below here on YouTube. If you're listening on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, subscribe down below. We're also doing a giveaway. All you have to do is leave a review on the iTunes page and then take a screenshot and DM it to me on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO, and also on Instagram. I make it so simple. It's at Pure Evil. And guys, I hope you have a great night. Behave yourselves. White Knuckles, until the end. I want to thank Eddie Abasolo. I cannot wait for Lion Fight. Muay Thai is always a blast to go and cover. So I will get you guys all the updates at mymmanews.com. Have a great night.